Okay, hi, I'm Rebecca Luedke. This is my colleague Cam with Solano County. Just going to go over Solano County Glassy-Winged Sharpshooter Control Program. Just what we're going to be talking about, overview of the GWIS. So that's what we call the Glassy-Winged Sharpshooter, the GWIS. So if you hear me or us saying that, that's what we're referring to. We're talking about a little bit about Pierce's disease, some laws and regulations, Food and Agriculture Code and California Code of Regulations, pesticide use and application treatment, operations, progress and results, and some questions at the end. So for the GWIS, the life stages, it goes from egg to nymph to an adult, and they're probably only about half an inch long, but they are larger than some other leafhoppers. They like to overwinter as adults, and they usually overwinter on citrus trees because they keep their leaves throughout the winter. And the adults, they have transparent, like reddish wings. That's why they're called glassy winged. And they like to feed on a wide variety of ornamental and crop plants. And it can also travel longer distance in a shorter time than other sharpshooters. And the GWIS is a significant threat to California vineyards due to its ability to spread the bacterium that causes Pierce's disease on grapevines. And so here's the GWIS native range. They're native to southeastern US and northeastern Mexico. They were first reported in California in 1994. And they're likely entered California in like the 1980s as egg masses on ornamental plant foliage. And here we are, Solano County, surrounded by other neighboring counties. We're a pretty big county compared to some other ones. And here on the left are areas where the Pierce's disease has been reported in California, with Solano County being obviously one of those counties. The map on the right shows areas that are infested with the GWIS in blue, GWIS eradicated areas in red, only a few, hopefully more soon, and the counties that are at risk for Pierce's disease GWIS are in green. And here's the top 10 crops, livestock, the top commodities from the crop report, the 2022 crop report. So due to its large coast range, GWIS also threatens a number of different commodities other than grapevines, like almonds, nursery products, and alfalfa are examples of that. And obviously those are grown in Solano County. And so, GWIS is a major pest of concern because its ability to spread the bacterium, Xylella fastidiosa, which restricts the flow of water and nutrients within the plant or tree host. And that bacterium pathogen is the cause of Pierce's disease in grapevines, but it also causes almond leaf scorch and oleander leaf scorch, and alfalfa dwarf disease. So just a few things that it causes to other plants. And here we are. Here's our find sites in Vacaville, the star on the map. which is surrounded by very dense grape growing regions, which are shown in purple. And the most dense areas are Napa County, Sonoma, and San Joaquin County. And here's are the first find sites. Number one, we found one adult at a retail nursery location in Fairfield at a Lowe's on September 6th in 2021. But after that, there was no other adults or no other GWIS found at that location. And then the second time on October 1st, later on, there was 3 adult GWIS were detected on one trap and another trap with 2 adult GWIS. Both traps were located in a dense residential area that's known as Browns Valley. And because of the GWIS findings, it triggered the delimitation and intensive visual surveys, which did begin the next day. And here's a GIS map of the 2 locations that the finds were at. The red circles are the quarter-mile radius that we did surveys around after the finds. And then also just the location of Browns Valley is mostly surrounded by hills and fields. And then, well, the GWIS samples were, once they were collected, they were sent to the lab, which were identified later on. They were actual GWIS, just to confirm that that's what we found. Which then it allowed our department to do the surveys through the area. And with all the data collected in the field, we use the application GIS to help visualize the locations of all the GWIS finds and keep track of survey inspections and treatment reports. And since there was a lot of properties like requiring all the visual surveys, we received additional help with staff from Napa County, Yolo County, and Contra Costa County, who assisted in the visual surveys. And then, so from the initial surveys, additional GWIS were detected on traps, leading to the expansion of all the quarter-mile radius. So this is a up-to-date GIS map as of now. And from October 2021 to November, we've done about 1,200 trap checks and surveyed 1,700 properties. And the GWIS counts from 2021 to now, we found 142 adults, 25 nymphs, 477 egg masses, and we've had 126 positive properties. And we've had, this is also just another layer on GIS, which shows, because we found all life stages here in Browns Valley, just the different colors represent the different, like adult, nymph, egg mass, non-viable egg mass, and to be determined. But this is and it's right, Browns Valley Elementary School, and right next to Centennial Park, which is a pretty big park in Browns Valley. But this is also an updated view of our map. So now here's my colleague Cam, and I'll let him take it over.
All right, hi guys. So I'm going to be going over the California Code of Regulations. Title III, Food and Agriculture, subsection 3650 of the legislative intent and authority. So we basically, this gives us kind of the authority to do what we do here at the Solano. So basically it says legislature has declared that the plant killing bacterium Xylella fastidiosa and the resulting Pierce disease and its vectors present clear present danger to California's grape industry, as well as to many other commodities and plant life. The legislature has created Pierce disease control program in the Department of Food and Agriculture. So subsection 3651 is the control program, which states Pierce disease control program is to be conducted by the local public entity designated by the county's board of supervisors under a department approval local Pierce disease work plan, including proposed treatment of Pierce disease and its vectors. Subsection B, the department shall provide logistical support and assistance when necessary for combating Pierce disease and its vectors. Logistical support and assistance includes biological control assistance, providing information production practices to reduce levels of Pierce disease and its vectors, and to conduct a work plan activity when necessary and develop pest control alternative. All right, so I mentioned before too, and part of the disease control program consists of 5 areas. One is to contain the spread, meaning to prevent the spread of GWIS to new areas of the state by regulating shipment of host plants and other host materials and suppressing populations to prevent the natural spread. 2 is a statewide survey and detection, is basically finding new GWIS infestations and quickly to confirm that uninfested areas remain free of infestation by conducting systemic trapping in uninfested at-risk areas. And number 3 is the rapid response, which is responding quickly to detections of GWIS in new areas by intensively surveying the area and applying treatments if necessary. And 4 is outreach, raising awareness about the Pierce disease and its vector while responding to the concerns of growers and the public by conducting outreach and education activities. 5 is researching, so developing long-term sustainable solutions to Pierce disease and its vectors by sponsoring and facilitating researching development. All right, so the CDFA Proclamation of Emergency Program, it consists of confirming the infestation, define the infested area boundary, describes problems and implications, declares the authority, and outlines procedures for eradication surveys and public notification. So if you look at the screen, you'll see the outline of the Vacaville, which is the Browns Valley area where we are conducting our survey and treatments. So some of the treatment plan that we are doing is consists of chemical control. So all the properties with hosts within 100 meters of each detection site, we will treat it with Merit or Cortec. Merit's kind of like a liquid solution, and Cortec comes in like a tablet form where we inject it into the soil, or we dig a couple inches into the soil and then we insert the Cortec. And then if we do detect live stages of GWIS, we go in and do a foliar spray with Tempo. And then I know there's Altis too, but recently we've been using Tempo. Or is the other Altis? I'm sorry. And of course, in areas where where we think the GWIS is most likely at, or certain locations, we do release, that's where we release our biocontrol, parasitic wasps. And prior to the treatments, we do give public notifications with a 48-hour advance notice. And here's just the brand and kind of like the name of the products that we are using. We conduct these applications or treatment with a pest control business, Neighborly. So I think they're out of the Sacramento area, but they do come over here and provide us service. And this is some of the products that they are using. And on the screen, you'll see notifications that we do provide the residential with. So the pink one's the notifications explaining what we're doing and the type of treatments that we will be doing, and specifically the daytime or the date. And sometimes they'll ask for hours. Most times we'll try to do it between before the afternoon. And then once we're done with the treatment, we do leave behind a yellow notification explaining what it is that their property's been treated with, or their next door's been treated with. And you see here on the left side is a map of our GIS map of locations where we've had treated. So brown is all the homes that has been treated. Purple is kind of like means, we've done the outside or the front yard, but we couldn't get the backyard. So, and then red just is a refusal. So our treatment progress for the year 2021, we did 86 foliar applications, and that's because it was late. And keep in mind that was later on, around October, that we did the applications. So that's why the number is kind of low. For the year 2022, we did a total of 953 foliar and soil applications. And each application is considered like one treatment on one property would be considered an application. And then in 2023, and we still have a couple more days left, and I know we're going to be doing treatment today as well, so number will be updated as well. And we've done currently up to 850 foliar and soil applications. And then on the right side of the screen, that's so that's the pest control business. These guys are from Neighborly, and what they're doing is they're injecting merit into the crepe myrtles. And then, like I said, that's liquid pack, and they carry it on their backpack, and we'll go to each tree and inject this merit. And then, depending on the size of the trees too, will determine how many pumps we do treat the trees with. And then here's a map, GIS map of once again the refusal. So not everybody wants the treatment, or there's a specific reason why they don't want and to treat their property. However, there's some residential that does have concerns about chemicals and stuff like that, and sometimes it takes a little bit more outreach and education and just explain to them what the chemicals are, and sometimes they'll turn around and have us treat the property. So, but there are some houses that just refuses to let us do treatment. But so that'd be like good. So those areas are good sites for like biological controls and stuff like that. So if we can't get in there with any chemical treatments, we'll get in there with biological control. And then here's our, on the left map with the yellow dots, you'll see our biological control release sites. So we'll try to, we'll try to pick the sites that are more strategically for like maybe provides more trees and hosts that the GWIS are around. And like I said, areas where refusals are, people are refusing treatments. So up to date, we've done 111 release sites with over 9,000 wasps. And specifically, we use two different types of wasps, C. morelli and C. midi. And here's one of our biologists releasing those wasps. They're very tiny, so you can see that little comparison in the middle, where they're just little, millimeters. So, and here's a picture of the parasitic wasp that we do use, and on the left side, you'll see an example of some of the egg masses that's been parasitized. So this is what we're kind of hoping when we release the wasps, that they'll do their job and actually parasitize these GWIS eggs. And here's another size, so you get an idea how small and tiny these wasps are. And then part of our program consists of delimitation trapping. So we do, once we set up traps, we do a bi-weekly service, and just to make sure, we're not getting hits on any of these traps with GWIS or activities, stuff like that. And we currently have about 206 mobile traps right now out in the Browns Valley area. And here again, it just shows our mapping of the GIS locations, stuff like that. And here's an overall number of what we've done so far, or what we've found throughout the years and towards the end of 2021 and year of 2022, 2023. So if you look at these numbers, you'll see that they are decreasing. Just keep in mind, we did start late in 2021. However, we had a full year of 2022. But you can see how the numbers drop with the adults and the nymphs and the eggs, meaning, the program that we are executing is working, and it is being, and it's effective, seeing that the numbers drop from 59 to 7 and, 19 to 6. So that's a huge impact on what we're doing. The egg scars, numbers are slightly the same because, we do find old scars when we do our surveys. So whether it's recent or old, we collect it and we keep count of it. So that's why. And then, so, what's next is we're coming up, we're going to keep revisiting refusal properties and specific areas of concern. Definitely, we're going to be retreating the soil with injections, or I want to say starting next year in spring 2024. So everything we treated in 2022, it's going to lapse, and it has a 1-year lapse. So that's when we'll retreat again. We're going to keep all the traps up through the winter just to monitor where GWIS activities are. They're probably not going to be too active, but we are targeting priorities, wintering sites like I want to say citrus and philtinias and privets. We're going to keep doing our visual surveys and most likely impacted areas. And of course, once we do get more biocontrol wasps, we will be releasing them to each of those sites as well that was mentioned. And so I linked some of so a lot of times when we're doing the treatment, a lot of residents have concerns and questions about products that we are using. So these are the two links to the products that we are using. So this is what we kind of provide the homeowners when we are passing out the notifications. We let them, we pass out our questions and answers with all the products that we are using, kind of just being transparent about what we are doing. So And then I think we have about 3 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions. Oh, there are, but okay, we have questions.
Thank you, Rebecca and Kham, for your presentation.
Yeah.
Matt will be jumping on and reading the questions to you.
Okay, so the first question is, are there higher GWIS populations near where there are treatment refusals?
Not host material.
Yeah, so with those refusals, so not every refusal will have like a GWIS population there, because it all varies with the types of host that's there at the location. So someone with just like, not a high priority tree or plant will refuse us. However, if someone that has like 10 citrus trees in the backyard, yeah, most definitely those houses will have a higher population of the GWIS there.
Okay, so the next question is, there are a lot of refusals. What is the plan there, and as that is a lot of safe harbor of this new pest that you're trying to eradicate?
So with those refusals, so some of the refusals, we've been reaching out, we've been providing them a little bit more resources. Like if we're sending our samples to CDFA and results come back positive, we've also provided that information to the homeowners as well. So that way it kind of lets them know that, hey, your house is an infestation, and, just explaining to them the concerns that we do have, if they don't get the treatment, or allow us to at least come in and try to do something to prevent the spreading of the disease. About 90%, I'd say 80% of the time, the folks will let us come in after doing all that. It just takes a little bit more time and effort with those refusals. That's all.
Is there a recourse for absolute refusal if you know that if the location has GWIS, say a house with citrus trees in the backyard, is there anything beyond trying to continue to convince them that can be done?
You know what? So we do have scenarios where that is happening right now, where we do have citrus in the backyard. I mean, if they're refusing, we haven't gone to the extent of forcefully, treating their house, but we do try to do everything within our power and authority and if that means, surrounding the house with a little bit more traps and treating, the trees and their neighbors with, with the treatment, we think that will provide a little bit more, it will have an impact, but that kind of will prevent that GWIS from spreading to the neighbors and stuff like that. And, to the full extent of forcing them to do treatment or something, that
We can designate the property as a
public nuisance. Yeah. So my deputy was saying, we can't designate the resident with a public nuisance.
But that hasn't been done yet.
No, that has not been done yet.
Not yet.
We're monitoring those sites closely.
Sorry, I had to jump in to add on.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Should we do one more, Cindy, or is it time?
Let's take one more and then
Okay, I think we'll go with this one. What message do you think North Coast growers need to take away from your presentation? How can we prevent GWIS in Napa and Sonoma?
Make sure their incoming plants, their grapevines, and their ornamental plants are called in and inspected by it.
So there are systems in place for our, for the, let's say contractors, landscapers and stuff like that. And the neighborhood, they're encouraged to call us to go and, make sure the plants are inspected prior to being released or
Put in the ground
yeah.
at the property. But we also have we'll definitely incoming shipments in different spots. They have to be they're inspected by us or different biologists before they're released into definitely stores and at different places like Home Depot and the Lowe's. We always inspect those shipments coming in from different spots to definitely help prevent any spread to like neighboring counties.
And when we've reached out to landscapers too, so when we're out doing our traps and surveys and stuff, we do provide and reach out to our landscapers to let them know if they're trimming any plants and stuff like that. You know, there's a system in place where, you know, we make sure it gets to, you know, wood chipper or something like that, or stays and contained in the area for a while before taking it outside of the infested area.